So late last week, George Santos announced that he was filing a lawsuit against Jimmy Kimmel, ABC, and the Disney Corporation. Jimmy Kimmel's show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, airs on ABC, which is owned by Disney, so that's why the three entities were listed in George Santos's lawsuit, where he accuses Kimmel of deceptively having him record videos on the celebrity video site Cameo and then airing them on his program without proper consent. So, Kimmel has now fired back at George Santos on the air, and here is what Kimmel said this week about the lawsuit. He starts off by saying, "We had a 3-day weekend. It was an eventful weekend for me. Did anyone else get sued by George Santos this weekend? I'm currently embroiled in what may be the most preposterous lawsuit of all time. George Santos, a man Republicans kicked out of Congress for being a fraud, is suing me for fraud. We did a nice thing because we supported him by ordering his Cameo videos," Kimmel continued. After he was removed from the House, George signed on with Cameo to make some money. You know, the website where you can get a celebrity to make a video. So we wrote some absolutely ridiculous messages for him to read. We gave them a credit card number, and sure enough, he recorded the messages and sent them back to us. And now he's suing. He says we deceived him under the guise of fandom, soliciting personalized videos only to then broadcast these on national television. And if there's one thing George Santos will not stand for, it's using a fake name under false pretenses. And by the way, the idea that he believed these messages, which get posted on the Cameo site anyway, were from real fans. One of them was about a guy named Gary who ate 6 pounds of loose ground beef in under 30 minutes. Another was a message congratulating my mom Brenda on the successful cloning of her beloved schnauzer Adolf. He then, of course, said that Santos is being represented by the prestigious law firm of Pot, Kettle, and Black. Now, what Kimmel did here, he did a mix of, humorously taking down George Santos, reminding us of his scandals using the fake name George Anthony DeVolder, all that crap, and also actually laying out a legal case. So I'm assuming, based on Kimmel's response here, that he had already talked to lawyers. That would be obviously the smart thing to do. Like, what can I say? What can I not say? And some of this actually does sound like a legal argument. I mean, listen to this. We wrote some absolutely ridiculous things for him to read. We gave them a credit card number, and sure enough, he recorded the messages and sent them back to us. He also mentions, by the way, that these are freely posted on the Cameo website. So these are already broadcast. We paid him to produce this content for us, gave them a credit card number, gave him the message to read. He chose to read it. That's a legal argument. And then, of course, attacking him, for the fraud, and he's saying, you're a fraud. What George Santos is doing, and Santos, by the way, as I mentioned in a segment the other day, he thinks he has absolutely a bulletproof case. No, you don't. You don't even have a case. I'm actually shocked that a lawyer was willing to take this on for you. But Santos is a publicity hog. Right? He hasn't been in the headlines recently. Yeah, he's been doing his cameos, but it's kind of died down. Nobody really cares about him anymore. So he had to do something to put his name back out there in the headlines, and this is it. He is a publicity hog. And that is the only reason he's doing this. He doesn't care if it costs him money to hire these lawyers and ultimately lose this case. If it gets him more name recognition, then it's a win for him. He can charge more for his cameos. But if I were him, I'd be saving all your money. I mean, you do have a pretty significant trial coming up in the very near future that could end up sending you to prison. I don't think they're going to make you or let you make cameos from prison, George. So you may want to hold on to your money because you're going to need it to hire some pretty good lawyers to keep yourself from being behind bars for the next couple years.